Hello, welcome back to Shakesyear. We are still working on Henry VI, Part 3, and today we get to hear from Queen Margaret in Act 5, Scene 4. Oh, we're getting dangerously close to the end of this play. So the Battle of the Roses is still going, which is a little incredible considering like none of the people that originally started it are still really involved. We still have the Lancastrian side, which is King Henry, but Warwick was just killed. And then we still have the Yorkist side, which is King Edward, who keeps getting and then losing and then getting the crown again, or just even just saying, hey, I'm king, and going with that. So at the moment, really, the only thing that stands still in King Edward's way is this army that Queen Margaret has been building with the French. So yesterday in Act 5, Scene 2, we saw Warwick die, and then Edward and Oxford and Somerset and blah, 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 all of them were ready to go and fight the Queen. And then in Act 5, Scene 3, it's just a quick little snippet with the king and his dudes where they're like, yeah, the Queen is building some strength. I may be a little concerned. They're like, yeah, she's got about 30,000 men. So, but they're like, no, we got this. We can totally do this. So Act 5, Scene 4 starts out with Queen Margaret and her peeps, like over on her side of the battlefield. And she starts the scene with sort of this, anyway, this like, let's get them going monologue. So she says, great lords, wise men ne'er sit still. Sorry, let me start that again. Great lords, wise men ne'er sit and wail their loss, but cheerily seek how to redress their harms. What though the mast be now blown overboard, the cable broke, the holding anchor lost, and half our sailors swallowed in the flood, yet lives our pilot still. Is't meet that he should leave the helm and, like a fearful lad, with tearful eyes add water to the sea, and give more strength to that which hath too much, whiles in his moan the ship splits on the rock, which industry and courage might have saved. Ah, what a shame. Ah, what a fault were this. Say Warwick was our anchor. What of that? And Montague our topmast. What of him? Our slaughtered friends, the tackles. What of these? Why, is not Oxford here? Another anchor. And Somerset, another goodly mast. The friends of France are shrouds and tacklings, and though unskillful, why not Ned and I for once allowed the skillful pilot's charge? We will not from the helm to sit and weep, but keep our course, though the rough wind say no, from shelves and rocks that threaten us with wrack. As good to chide the waves as speak them fair, and what is Edward but a ruthless sea? What Clarence but a quicksand of deceit, and Richard but a ragged fatal rock? All these, the enemies to our poor bark. Say you can swim. Alas, 'tis but a while. Tread on the sand, why there you quickly sink. Bestride the rock, the tide will wash you off, or else you famish, that's a threefold death. This speak I, lords, to let you understand, if case some one of you would fly from us, that there's no hoped for mercy with the brothers, more than with ruthless waves and sands and rocks. Why, courage then? What cannot be avoided? 'Twere childish weakness to lament or fear. So she builds this whole big boat metaphor, and she's like, yeah, we're losing bits of the boat and we're losing some important players, but we have other guys here in readiness to step in and lead the charge and keep the boat afloat, because if we don't keep the boat afloat, then we're all gonna die at the hands of the Yorks. And the people that she's talking to are like, yeah, that's a good speech, let's go, let's fight. And Edward and his crew come in. Oh, they're like, they get a message that Edward and his crew are about there, and they're like, ha ha ha, Edward and his crew thought that we weren't gonna be ready for them, but silly them, we're ready for them, let's fight. So they come in, and Edward says a thing, and Queen Margaret has another like huzzah type speech, and then they fight and they fight and they fight, and at the very end of Act 5, Scene 4, Queen Margaret and Oxford and Somerset are taken. Which I'm also thinking that I put Oxford and Somerset on the wrong side earlier in my recap. Apologies for that. They're on the Lancaster side, if I did. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for more. We just have a couple more days of this, and then we get to Henry VIII, and we'll get to learn all new characters, and you can completely forget about these ones. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for more.